Welcome to Bible Talk Insight as we continue our daily study with Real One. Did God's law really care about slaves? Discover the surprising protections embedded in ancient Israel's legal code. So, when we talk about God's law given through Moses, we often think straight to the Ten Commandments, right? The big ones. But there's also something called casuistic law. What exactly is casuistic law?
Well, what's fascinating here is that casuistic laws are essentially case laws. They're often presented in an if-then format. They take the broad principles, like those in the Ten Commandments, and they apply them to specific, everyday situations. Bible scholars note that these were given to help the people understand and enforce the larger moral principles in a really practical way. They were framed with infinite wisdom and equity, guiding magistrates on how to make judgments.
Okay, so it's about applying big principles to real-life situations.
Got it.
And here's where it gets really interesting. One area these laws covered was the treatment of servants, or slaves, as they are sometimes called in the Bible. Now, this might surprise you, but the Bible's legislation actually offered remarkable protections compared to other ancient societies.
Absolutely. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, you see God's compassion immediately. It's quite striking. For instance, the Bible outlines that a Hebrew servant would serve for 6 years and then go out free in the 7th year, no payment needed. If he came in alone, he left alone. If he came married, his wife left with him. These laws protected their dignity and offered a clear path to freedom. And this raises an important question, doesn't it? How often do we actually see such provisions in the ancient world for those in bondage? It was pretty unique.
It really does highlight God's concern for justice and human dignity, even in circumstances that were frankly common in that era. It wasn't about endorsing the practice itself, but about regulating it with humanity, with compassion. So what does this all mean for us? It means God's character, his compassion, is interwoven with every detail of his law. It shows his care for even the most vulnerable among his people.